Hello everyone, my name is Olubolade Ayokunle and I am the founding father for Foundation FAE, Foundation for Adequate Education. Foundation FAE is the first EdTech, mobile learning and entertainment foundation in West Africa. We advocate the introduction of educational technology into institutions in Africa. Why did we come about that? Well, it all started when I was in Swansea, Swansea University in UK, when I experienced what true learning is all about, where I understood what the essence of education is all about. I have been in Nigeria, I studied in Nigeria, I did my primary school, secondary school in Nigeria, and then I moved to France to do my BSc, my bachelor's degree in communication. Then after I went to Swansea, like I said, to do my master's in MA in communication, media practice and public relations. Upon getting to Swansea, I realized education was different. Education was unique. Education had something more of use to it. I felt the essence of education. So I decided when I finished at Swansea, I would come back home to Africa, come back home to Nigeria to introduce to everyone the use of educational technology in the system. Well, the educational situation in Africa is quite unique and complex. Let me start in general Africa. There are some few countries that are actually evolving. There are some few countries like Ghana, South Africa, they still understand the value of educational technology I mean. But when we talk about Nigeria, where I am based, it's quite a shame because we are the giant of Africa. And we have still not understood the essence of education in the system, the value of education in the system. We are yet to understand that. And that is why we all know the situation of education in Nigeria is quite weak. Let's be realistic, we can't lie to ourselves. The school buildings are dilapidated, or they don't have libraries, they don't even have a blackboard, and they don't have chairs and the rest. But we know what the situation is in Africa, or in Nigeria in general. Well, it could get better. It could get better if the people in power actually understand the value of education. You know, at times I ask myself, the people we elected, did they go through the institution, or did they really understand, were they really educated? Because someone that is educated, you know that there are certain things. Education is like a software. It's something you have to keep learning every day. You have to upgrade. You have to be up to date. You understand? You have to keep adding new things to make it interesting. Well, the current situation in Nigeria is not that. It's quite funny, but what can we do? And that is why we are advocating that they should understand that this is the next trend. No, we cannot compare the current educational trend in Nigeria with other foreign countries like Canada, United States. We are far from them, and it's obvious. We can see we are far from them. The lectures in most universities or in most institutions in Nigeria are obsolete. Even in Africa, they are mostly obsolete. There is a professor will be teaching you the same thing he has been teaching other students for the past 20 years. Where are we going with that? Okay. Introduce technology into the system. No. Why? We have the funds in Africa. Let's be realistic. We're a rich continent. We have natural resources. So why are we not trying to make it better? Well, that is why we are advocating that they need to start doing now. Because if you want the future of the next generation in Africa or in Nigeria to be able to meet up or stand up or catch up with the Western world, then we need to integrate educational technology into the system. That's just the truth. Okay, let me give you an example. A computer science student studying computer science here in Nigeria and a computer science student studying computer science in the UK, they are not on the same level. And the reason is because there is a big gap in the educational system. Educational technology is not integrated. In Nigeria, they are teaching you Fortran, old coding language, whereas your mates in the UK are already on Ruby on Rails, or they're on... You know, it's a shame. It's a shame. And the problem is, the reason why we cannot see these gaps are because we have not yet introduced educational technology into the system. When educational technology is being introduced into the system, every old course will become obsolete. If you are not up to date, then you have to leave the faith because your generation is gone. This is the 21st century, for Christ's sake. You know, and it's quite a shame that instead of them focusing on that, they are focusing on ASU strike, reducing the cutoff mark to 120. It's a shame. It's as if we are in a system of government where people do not understand the value and essence of education. And that is why we at Foundation FAE decide we are going to advocate for this. Foundation FAE has created a means for African students to have access to certain educational technology tools or materials. For example, we created a website. We have an app where students can gain access to educational materials, MOOC, Massive Open Online course. We also have on the website, we have a lot of educational tools such as PDF tools, collaboration tools, bibliography and proofreading tools, virtual learning site, virtual simulation site or software that gives them an idea, a practical idea or a practical view of what they have been taught in class. We also try to let them know that with the device they have in their hand, they can do more than just pictures. Because when we look at the current trend of the 21st generation children or 21st generation kids, they are more addicted to their mobile phones. They are more addicted to the devices. When they enter class, they feel class is boring because all they do is write with biro or pencils. So we are trying to catch them on these devices. That is why at times we also try to tell a lot of the children in Africa to introduce the BYOD system, bring your devices to class. You know, the future is bright, the future is EdTech. We know it. The future is mobile learning. We need to integrate this in the system, and that is what we have been doing. We have been going for EdTech conferences in certain schools. We have been going for EdTech exhibition where we show how flipped learning could look, how blended learning should look like, how a typical 21st generation classroom should be like. Students have actually been catching up. They've been downloading the app, they've been visiting our website, and it shows that they are really interested because we speak their language. We communicate to them on a platform that they understand. We make learning fun from them, and that is what we've been doing at Foundation FAE. About the ASU strike and the JAMB cutoff mark currently happening in Nigeria, it is quite a shame. I'll start with ASU strike. I think the ASU strike and the federal government are forgetting that the student paid their school fees. They have a fundamental right to this education. The parents paid the fees for these children. And then ASU decides that the federal government, see, in developed countries, things like this are done behind closed doors. The students are not affected. We all know these things. But the funniest thing is when we are in a country where people do not even understand the value or the essence of education, that is why they jeopardize the future of the next generation by going on strike. That is the way I see it personally. Now, for JAMB, it is quite a shame also. Out of 400, you expect students to get more than 20. I don't understand. Then there's no point in them writing the exam. Let's be realistic. If you are telling me I have an exam, which I'm meant to at least score up to 400, and you're telling me to score 120, I won't read. It is a shame. The system, the institutions are not even adequate. The system is weak. Now you are even making it weaker by giving cutoff mark that, or maybe they want to make money. We never can tell. Because I feel there's a personal interest in that. Probably they're trying to make money from UTME, but to me, it is a shame. Whatever the case may be, we should not spoil the future for the next generation. Most of these people who are in this position all enjoyed the system when it was going good. When the economy was extremely great, we send them out to learn. We send them, they even go abroad on their own. They see the way things are done there. So I don't understand, why are you trying to spoil the next 21st generation future? It is not possible. It is a shame. That's my point of view on it. Thank you very much. Yes, they claim they have computer in the school. They claim the school has internet connection, but the truth is, do the students use it? Do they use it to gain access to educational materials? Do they even own it for them? You know, there's a difference. EdTech is not just all about putting a laptop or putting the Wi-Fi in class. Please, let's be sincere. It is about how to integrate it in the mind of the student that this is something to have access to tools that will enable their learning, that will make learning fun, that will give them access to quality material, tools that will give them access to materials that will avoid them from being obsolete. You know, the brain is like a software. The more you learn, the more you know. You just don't put a laptop in class and Wi-Fi and say, oh yeah, we have EdTech. It is not possible. It needs to be integrated. You know, it needs to be joined. It needs to be explained. It needs to be like a part of life for them. Most children or most kids use a mobile device now. We know that. How do you attract them with EdTech on their mobile devices? What do you do? Let's be honest, how many universities in Nigeria have an app? How many universities in Nigeria have a secured LMS, learning management system? How many institutions in Nigeria have access to JSTOR and the rest? You know, it's quite a shame. They don't. But they have access to how students can pay fees because they want to collect money, but they are not concerned about the future. They are not concerned about what are we giving to them. They are the next generation, for crying out loud. It's such a pain. The CBT test to me, you know, the first time when I even first heard of it, I was abroad. I just smiled because I felt it was just a joke. Let's be realistic. Okay, let's create a scenario. A child has not used a computer from primary 1 to primary 6, GSS 1 to SS3. Then you tell him to go and write a computer-based test. How do you expect him, someone that has not even seen a computer before, and you expect them to pass? You know, it's like, let me give you, it's like telling the old senators, people at the Senate, that, oh, please, all of you are going to take a CBT test before you become a senator. Do you know how many people will pass? Let's be realistic. It is not fair. I thought that was quite an unfair decision and policy, but we're in a country where everybody thinks he's a god, and they just do anything they want, how they want. It's a shame. It pains the young one. You push them, you create policies that are not well thought about. Like, as if they didn't think about it before, they just. But it's all good. But we know that with the integration of educational technology, if they had integrated that before in the system, we will not be having this issue of students feeling jam because they didn't know how to own the computer. Let's be realistic. That's the truth. The first thing I would like to let them know is the future is bright. The future is really bright. And they shouldn't give up. Even though you are going to class and maybe for one reason there is no light, they are not providing you the right educational materials, lecturers are forcing you to buy handouts and to show the receipt for exam, don't worry, the future is bright. That is why we are here. We are going to advocate for the introduction of adequate learning materials in your school. When I mean adequate, both virtual and physical. Virtual in the sense of you have access to the internet 24/7, you have access to educational technology apps, you have access to educational technology tools that will enable you to keep up to the standard of what your mates are learning outside the world, outside the country. I mean, because if we continue like this with what they are teaching you in your current institution, I would like to you need to introduce yourself into the concept of self-learning. Even if the man is teaching you something obsolete in class, you need to go out there and find the right tools, because when you're going to get a job, you cannot blame the professor. Let's be realistic. You cannot blame him for not knowing how to use Ruby on Rails, and you tell the man employing you, they taught me Fortran. No one wants to hear that. They'll believe you've been taught. So we believe the future is bright. The future is in your hand. Already you have the mobile device. You have the device. This is your generation. A device that gives you access to the world. So we will teach you how to integrate it into studying and how to use it. Thank you.